Well, it wasn't really a surprise. Everybody knew that E-Trade was looking for a buyer, and the Morgan Stanley E-Trade combination following on the heels of the Ameritrade Schwab combination are both representing very, very strong competitors who are basically after the same type of customers. So they will be there will be a cutthroat competition between the two of them. As from the point of view of Interactive Brokers, these two mergers basically cleared the field for Interactive Brokers. So I'm happy
when you
about
say
it.
everyone knew E-Trade was looking for a buy, I mean, how actively were they doing that? Did you have any conversations with them?
I did not have any conversations with them, so I was misquoted in the Market Watch. But we have looked at E-Trade, and we evaluated whether we should buy them or not, and we decided against it.
So what did you make of the $13 billion price tag for them?
I think it's a fair price. 13 billion is right. That's where we thought we would be if we had no other barriers in the way.
And does it make sense to you that who the buyer was? I mean, a fair price, but you didn't want to buy them at that price. But can you understand the rationale for Morgan Stanley to buy them to kind of get more access to the different type of client?
Yes, I can. So I don't know if you know, but Interactive Brokers is over 80% owned by its employees. So as owner-operators, we have a different aspect than professional management. So we cannot take on existential risk, no matter how small the probability is for that risk to be realized, while a professional manager can take on such risk, and that's what Morgan Stanley is doing.
Thomas, you mentioned that this clears the way for Interactive Brokers. What do you mean by that? Or clears the field?
I mean that the distinctions among the various platform and platform capabilities become much, much clearer, and the contrast between them are much sharper in a situation where there are much fewer competitors. So there are basically now the three of us left. We have E-Trade Morgan Stanley on the one hand and Schwab Ameritrade on the other, and Interactive Brokers sort of in between. These two firms, however, have very substantially similar customer base in the sense that they both cater to retail investors and registered advisors. Interactive Brokers has always traditionally catered to professional traders who are basically working at large financial institutions and trade for their own accounts. So that's what explains the fact that while every Interactive Brokers customer trades 20 times a month, the Ameritrade E-Trade customers trades one time a month.
So then, is the takeaway there the fact that you will keep this company standalone, or would you be open potentially to consolidation, to a merger or a takeover or an acquisition with the right suitor?
Well, you see, we have spent our lives building this company. We started it 43 years ago, so we like to look at it, we like to see it grow, we like to see it becoming more and more popular. So it would be a hard decision to sell, but at some price, certainly we would consider it.
What do you think about possible price rationalization, perhaps a fall in the level of competition that you've experienced over the last 12 months? Now, as you say, three main players left, but there's still a lot of these other entrants like Robinhood and like Doe. Do you see there being any more price rationalization going forward? I mean, I know you can't have anything cheaper than a free trade, but do you hope your margins can pick up?
I think our margins are just fine. Our margins have been over 60% ever since I remember. So I don't think there is a problem with margin. I think we'll maintain the same margin and we'll be very happy.
I got to get your thoughts on something else. You had listed on the IEX, which is a very disruptive, sort of underdog exchange. It was a bit of a mixed bag, given the fact that they ultimately decided to close down that listing business. They weren't able to bring more companies on board. I wonder what you think the exchange dynamic looks like as we move into the years ahead. Does it continue to be this essentially duopoly between the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ, or do you think other players like IEX are able to break in?
So there is a new exchange coming online. There was a long article about it this morning in the Wall Street Journal. By the way, there was a new article in Barron's about ranking online brokers, where we came up on top again this morning. But so the idea is that there is always room for new entrants. Competition is great.